The new multiplayer balance patch is finally live in StarCraft 2. Now, in case you're unfamiliar, before this patch that went up a couple of days ago, the most recent update to StarCraft 2 was from August in 2020. And specifically Zerg versus Protoss, it had grown rather still, with the first 7 minutes of pretty much every single game being extremely predictable. Now, today we're gonna have a look at a best of 5 series of ZVP top-level games. And apparently our Zerg player right here is immediately mixing it up by going for a spawning pool at the earliest possible time at 12 supply. Our Protoss player as well, already sending out a worker towards the right side of the map. Okay, so let's introduce them quickly, because I think this is going to be a spicy game. But spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire, that's map number 1 in this best of 5 series. From South Korea, we have one of the best Zerg players in the world, and his name is Rogue. Now Rogue, he is sending out a drone. This could actually backfire really hard for the Protoss player. So I think Protoss, yeah, he's not gonna scout here just yet. He needs to send in that probe. But if he's gonna go for a proxy pylon, he's not gonna know that this is gonna be a spawning pool at 12 supply. He's not gonna scout the Zerglings until it's probably already too late. Anyways, with the red Protoss pieces, likewise also from South Korea, and quickly once again climbing through the ranks, we are looking at herO's main nexus. Alright, so herO has gone for a proxy pylon. A second gateway has gone up as well. This is one of those builds that can work really well against the standard hatch gas pool. It's not something that I've really seen all too much, but herO, he's moving that probe all the way back home to the right side of the map, or through the right side of the map, meaning that these Zerglings at this point are unscouted. Normally you scout with a probe, and you start up a zealot. You pull a couple of probes, maybe even complete the wall off. At this point, these Zerglings are going to be able to get across the map before the very first adept could start up. Fairly certain that's what herO is waiting for right now. This could accidentally just be a complete build order loss. To be fair though, at the professional level, I haven't really seen a 12 pool in, I don't know, like half a year time. Obviously these two, they are on the same team, as you may have already noticed, so they're on Dragon Phoenix Gaming. They may very well be very familiar with each other's playstyle. Okay, so Nexus gets cancelled. Good targeting right there on the pylon. A new pylon will be starting up as well. In the meantime, I mean, that gateway should have finished. Oh my god, he's even chrono boosting it out. That's no good. Nice little bit of mineral micro over here, though, by herO, forcing those probes to go through the Zerglings. Alright, I think the Zerglings actually were meant to kill every single one of those workers, or at least the vast majority of them. I mean, don't get me wrong. Losing 10 probes here is an absolute disaster. But at the very least, well, herO does have a chance. At this point, Rogue doesn't know about the gateway right here on the right side of the map either, because I think he probably would have already sent Zerglings over there. So these adepts, they should show up, but they're also going to have to... Well, they should show up really early, but they're also going to have to kill, like, 24 workers? Alright, well, the Queen is going towards the low ground. Yeah, at this point, I don't think the Zerg player here was anticipating seeing an adept already. So how good is that micro going to be? The one adept at home did clean up the rest of the Zerglings. herO's gonna have to kill like a dozen workers here, at least. So far, he's killed 3. Oh my god. Well, hey, if this is what every game on the new patch is gonna be like, I'm here for it. I had prepared like a little bit of information about both of these players as well, just because, well, normally ZVP is kinda, you know, a slow start, but nice targeting right there as well with the adepts. 2 more drones. Actually, 2 more probes. Well, 2 more drones as well. 3 more drones right now, but a few more Zerglings. I think the ones that were hiding over at the third base managed to get in. At the same time, though, oh my god, these Zerglings! They need to kill these adepts as quickly as they can. I think eventually Protoss is going to be deflected. And the problem is, right, we can certainly play out this game, but Rogue has like, yeah, like 75% more economy here. So even though it would take quite a while before he can actually obtain the victory, I don't think herO could really come back here. Alright, so game number 1, honestly as close to a build order loss as you can get, just because herO didn't actually scout with that probe that he sent across the map. I think if he would have known that those Zerglings were running across, he would have been able to defend, but alas, he decided to go for the pylon into the gateway and then sent the probe all the way back. To be fair though, in his defense, I've literally not seen a 12 pool in a pro game in, well, at least several months. So apparently Rogue, not afraid to mix it up. Rogue, by the way, as of me making this video on Aligilek, considered to be the rank 9 in the world overall, although you do have to take that with a grain of salt. I think Rogue actually, whenever he's in form, he's easily like a top 3 player. So Rogue seems to be either extremely on point where he can just, well, win against everyone, Or he just plays a little bit too much MapleStory, and then apparently that's what he does. He's not playing as much StarCraft 2. So he's got over $1 million in prize earnings over the course of his career. I do think he actually has to go and do his mandatory military service over in South Korea relatively soon. So, yeah, not entirely sure how many rogue games I'm still going to be able to cast. But at least for the foreseeable future, we'll, at least for the next couple of months, I think he should still be playing. herO, though, in case you're unfamiliar, herO already completed his service. He came back in June 2021, and while he was very successful before he started up his mandatory service, there's usually a good amount of time where the players just aren't as good when they do decide to come back. herO, though, has been steadily climbing through the ranks, and at this point he's considered to be the rank 14 in the world overall, so 1-4, which is very impressive, especially considering Zest probably has to go to the military soon, and obviously Stats is currently in the military, Parting recently left. There's not that many great Protosses over in Korea. I mean, Trap obviously is still very good. Classic recently came back as well, but Protosses are in a bit of an awkward spot right now. And yeah, I'm hoping that secretly maybe herO can be the one that could start winning some tournaments for Protoss. Anyways, I think this tournament, or this match rather, will be a pretty good tell for us to see where he's currently at. Most people will definitely favor Rogue in a best of 5 between these two, so we'll find out together. Standard openers here this time around. So we're starting, okay, immediately with a Warp Gate research. Does that mean he's gonna go for a Twilight Council or a robotics facility? Or nothing? Or nothing? No, he's probably still gonna go Stargate. Yeah, it's still gonna be Stargate, okay. So this is a little bit of a mind game right here from Mr. herO. So Twilight Council and a Robo facility as well as the Stargate, they all require the cybernetics core to be done. Now, the Twilight Council and the Robo are 100 gas each, whereas the Stargate is 50 gas. So usually, if you want to go for a Stargate opener, you go for the Cybernetics Core upgrade, the Warp Gate research a little bit later. So you save yourself that 50 gas so you can plant down the Stargate right away. So at this point, Rogue has seen that the Cybernetics Core is spinning, but he hasn't actually, picked up on exactly what kind of unit comp his opponent is going to be going for. Alright, so what exactly got nerfed as far as the Stargate goes? Well, the biggest nerf for this matchup is the fact that the Void Ray now takes 6 seconds longer to build and is 50 minerals more expensive. Now, does it matter? Is it even relevant? I mean, he's still gonna go. Like I said, I haven't seen any pro games yet on the new patch. So he's still gonna be going right here for the Void Ray first. I'm actually just gonna double check to make 100% sure that this was played on the most recent patch. Alright, so just to clarify, in the previous patch, it was 200 minerals for Void Ray. Now it's 250. So it finishes? Okay, yeah, no. He definitely spent 250 minerals right there on the Void Ray. So this is indeed with the new multiplayer balance patch. Just double checking here because sometimes tournaments can be a little bit funky when they, like, I don't know, start up their competitive season before the new patch goes live or something. They will sometimes continue playing it if they can on the old. It's just a little bit confusing, but no. This is most definitely a new patch. It should have been. So apparently herO is still showing us, well, that the Void Ray is a good option. What else has changed specifically for this matchup? So Void Rays, like I said, are 50 minerals more expensive and 6 seconds slower to build. Nydus Worms now start with 1 unit of creep in each direction around the worm when it spawns. Alright, so what does that mean? Basically, if you pop a Nydus Worm over here inside of the main base, there's gonna be more creep surrounding it, meaning that queens should have an easier time inside of the main base of the opponent. Say you want to lay down a creep tumor right away, that may definitely be an option now. The reason for that is that queens now can no longer transfuse off creep. So queens have a healing skill that they can use on each other and on other biological units, so literally every single Zerg unit. And yeah, they will no longer be able to use that ability off creep, which is a significant nerf, especially to queen marches. So definitely, yeah, makes sense that the Nydus Worm change has been made with that in mind. What else has changed? The Lurker burrow speed upgrade now doesn't allow the Lurkers to burrow as quickly anymore. So Lurkers essentially are a little bit weaker now with their burrow speed and their unburrow speed. The queens, okay, like I said, yeah, they can no longer transfuse off creep. And then Dark Templar, they have a 0.75 second attack delay after using Shadow Stride. So Shadow Stride is the Dark Templar blink ability. That one will now, yeah, be a little bit worse. I mean, that's mostly done with Protoss versus Terran in mind. We don't really see that many DTs in Protoss versus Zerg. And then the shield battery starting energy has been reduced from 100 to 50 if the shield battery is produced outside of a Nexus field. So that's primarily done for proxy play, right? So say you're a huge fan of, like, I don't know, building a Stargate right over here and then building a bunch of shield batteries here, especially against Terran, and then just, you know, sending the Void Rays in. Essentially, that is, yeah, quite a bit weaker at this point in the meta as well. So in general, a lot of changes have been made that, yeah, technically speaking, should reduce cheesy play, right? Cheesy play and turtley play. So it should make it a bit more macro-focused. Now, the follow-up right here from Mr. herO is already a little bit different than what we normally see. Now, this is a lot of Zerglings, though, dealing a lot of damage. Yeah, Sentry goes down. Stalker goes down. All right. Losing the Sentry there is quite painful. Anyway, so the follow-up right here from Mr. herO is actually Blink. So he's gone for a Twilight Council together with a Forge around the same time. Now he's chrono boosting out both of those upgrades. So this is after a Stargate start. Zerg, in the meantime, has gone for a Spire of his own. Okay, not something we normally see into a Void Ray opener. But this is just going to be a massive gateway attack. Is this really that good? Oh my god, if he loses another Sentry... Okay, nice pickup right there by herO. This is just going to be a ton of units. So I guess herO is going to try and Zerg the Zerg, which may not necessarily be very effective. Queens still have a lot of energy saved up right here, so they're going to be able to use it since they are still on creep. Fourth base not available because it was made right here on the left side of the map. I don't even know if herO is really going to attack. I wonder if this is mostly just to scare the Zerg, to make sure that Zerg right here is not making any workers. So Zerg always has to choose if they want to make, you know, an army or if they want to make a bunch of units or a bunch of drones. And I guess at this point, herO has decided he needs to make a lot of army. The only problem is that herO also needs to be very careful that he doesn't stick around here for too long, because herO is holding down that Zergling button. And it's very easy to accidentally get surrounded, okay? He does decide to go after the fourth base. This seems very risky to me. Couple of good force fields over here. Queen's moving very far forward as well. Once again, very good set of force fields. That shield battery is in range right there of the Queens. Okay, I think eventually it should be able to stay alive. A lot of good micro coming out of herO here, though. Very impressive. If you would have covered up the names, I would have assumed this was Parting playing, right? A lot of cheekiness here so far. Alright, I'm already a fan of the new patch, man. So this is not an opener we've seen from Protoss in like 2 years. Literally. Just a good old Stalker-based approach. The reason for it is not so much that these units, well, they're like stronger now. No, they're just as strong as they always were. It's just that the Stargate opener and the focus on Void Rays, the double Stargate Void Ray in particular, was just so much better than everything else. So why would you change? As long as he keeps tiptoeing around or outside of the creep right here, I think he should be okay. Well, apparently he decides to go very far forward here, dodging the biles at the last possible second. At this point, by the way, there's an economical advantage here for herO, which is only achieved because he's being so aggressive. I'm just a little concerned that at some point these Stalkers will end up getting surrounded, and then the Zerg counterattack is going to be absolutely massive. Baneling's Nest here has been made as well by Rogue. Rogue, at the same time, also adding on a macro hatchery. herO's sitting at 1,200 minerals at this point in the game, though, which is quite a bit. Okay, there's another warp in. He's just going mass Stalker. +2 just finished for the Stalkers as well. He's now going into +1 armor. As long as the creep is not spread around here, yeah, he can actually deal a lot of damage. Now dives once again on top of all of those Ravagers. He's dealing so much damage. Ravagers are really expensive units. Oh my god, he just keeps going. So what's funny, right, is that a lot of Zerg players at this point, myself included, are very comfortable playing against the Stargate opener. But apparently something as common as, well, as something that should be as common and as standard as this is not something that Rogue really knows how to play against at this point. Rogue has not played against someone doing these builds in probably 2 years. So therefore, it's going to take a little while for Zerg players to adjust and actually know and remember how they're supposed to open up against something along these lines. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if what Rogue was doing was actually the correct move, but that he was just not spreading enough creep, or he was moving a little too much, yeah, too far forward right there with the Ravagers. Anyways, it's going to be an interesting couple of months for sure. Oh, one of the Stalkers right there apparently killed by the other Stalkers, a little bit aggressive. Honestly, the Stalker count is so high. I wonder if he could just keep going. He's built a 4th Nexus, by the way, on the right side of the map as well. So it's not like herO here is completely all in. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot of tech on the back of this, right? So he doesn't have like any... Ooh, he doesn't have any like robotics base or... Well, he's got one robo facility, but not a second one. He's just blinking on top of all of these Zerg units. I think it's working as well. I mean, at this point, herO's got the upgrade lead. Yeah, GG. He's got the upgrade lead. He's got the economical lead. He's got the lead in every way. Alrighty. Next up, Curious Minds. The smallest map in the current StarCraft 2 map pool. Rogue, though, opening up with a drone right here. Probably following this up with an Overlord. So no early pool shenanigans from him this time around. I mean, it makes sense. Curious Minds does have a relatively easy to defend ramp right here for Protoss. As long as you put a couple structures over there, you should be a-okay. Now, I just had a quick look, by the way, at Rogue's Liquipedia page, and it turns out he used to play under a couple of different nicknames. I think I've mentioned this before in a StarCraft 2 cast as well, but it still makes me giggle. So, first off, he used to play under the nickname Savage back in the day. That's a pretty cool name, I guess. Then he used to play under the name Rial2. So, Rial is part of his actual name. And I guess Rial was taken and Rial 1 was taken, so he landed on Rial2. And then my personal favorite... He used to play under the nickname Climax, with a capitalized M and everything, okay? So that's like a proper gamer tag. Sadly, yeah, he switched out of that. Probably someone explained to him the innuendo, and he decided to, play under the nickname Rogue instead. I mean, to be fair, Rogue, it oftentimes gets misspelled. I see people writing Rouge all the time, which honestly, whenever I see someone writing Rouge, it bothers me more than it probably bothers Rogue. Please don't post it in the comment section of this video. I mean, even not just within StarCraft 2, but also like back in the World of Warcraft days when I used to play that a lot. Whenever I saw someone, I cringed really bad every time I see someone write Rouge instead of Rogue. Anyways, I guess most of the Koreans just kind of pick a cool sounding English word. Like, for example, Innovation, right? The Terran player. Innovation probably played the least innovative style that I've ever seen in StarCraft 2. And yet his nickname was Innovation. I mean, Rogue is a pretty cool name, I guess. Anyhow, what are we going for right here in this game right here, Mr. herO? Action is on Protoss right here in the earlier stages of the game. I can imagine that there's quite a few of you that have been watching StarCraft 2 actively for the last couple of years, but not before then. So you may not even really be familiar with any of the openers that Protoss used to go for other than Stargate. So maybe he's still going to go for a Stargate, but there's a good couple of options that you have at your disposal. Alright, so we are once again going to go straight into the Cybernetics Core upgrade. He's going to need 100 gas for a Twilight or a Robo facility. Here we're coming up on 100 gas right now. Okay, I guess it's still going to be a Stargate opener. Anyway, so oh no, he does decide. Okay, he does decide to go for a delayed Twilight Council. That's like a good 3 seconds delayed for absolutely no apparent reason. I guess he was busy microing that probe or something. I'm not sure. So with the Stargate, or sorry, with the Twilight Council opener, I think you could probably go for like 5 different ones. Like 5 different follow-ups. So you can go Mass Charge Lots. You can go Blink Stalker. Oh, okay. I guess the Adept right there was stuck, so he decided to recall it. More often than not, it should be Glaive Adepts, however. So Glaive Adepts are obviously very good. What are we doing? All right. Yeah, he is going to be going into the Glaive Adepts, which is, you know, even in the Stargate days, as of, like, you know, 3 days ago, I guess that era has kind of ended a little bit. But even then, we used to see this opener from time to time as well. But then you also have the Dark Templar variants. So I think actually those builds are really cool. For example, you can go 3 Dark Templar opener into 4 Dark Templar and then into Archon drops. Or you can go straight into, like, you know, 4 Dark Templar, try to, like, snipe a Spore Crawler or something and then do a bunch of damage. And Zerg doesn't have detection yet at that point in the game in the shape of, well, for example, Overseers. You can follow it up with Archon drops as well. I think those openers are really cool, and I hope those are going to be making a comeback. Anyways, herO right now just going into the good old Glaive Adepts. 4 gateways, I guess. Normally we go 4 gateways with this, yeah. Ooh, he's also going to go for a very quick third. So he was mining 2 and 2 in gas there for a little bit. Bumping up his mineral income ever so slightly, I suppose. That's a very quick third Nexus for a Glaive Adept opener. At least from the Glaive Adept openers that I have seen many times. Yeah, I like this. This is in line with the standard Void Ray start. So, Resonating Glaives, what does it do? It basically gives your Adepts additional attack speed. Now, Adepts are, especially in the earlier stages of the game, particularly good against Zerglings, but also drones. So I guess the move right here for herO, yeah, he's been saving them up for a little while. He does have... I mean, he's trying to force the Zerg player to not see this. That's... There's no way Rogue missed that, dude. I mean, if Rogue wasn't paying attention to the minimap, he may have missed that. No, he starts up Zergling production right away. Rogue is a little bit too good for that. A weaker Zerg player might not notice. Anyways, does he have enough, though, to defend against this? I mean, this is a small map, like I said. Very quick third base. He can warp in from that position as well. Alright, well, usually they're good against drones and Zerglings. Alright. Yeah, target firing down the queens. Not bad whatsoever. Couple of drones, maybe? Nah, he's just going for the queens. You know what? I like it. If the Zerg army is just disjointed, you can see that this actually can deal quite a lot of damage. Okay, now that was maybe a bit of an overextension, though. Zerglings getting on top of some of this army. I love the way that herO is playing this series so far. Now it's a double Stargate follow-up. Can we go into double Stargate Phoenix? That would be really fun. Anyways, I don't even know if he really needs it. This is already dealing a lot of damage. This is like extreme cost efficiency right here in the early stages of the game. And this is by no means a 2-base all-in, right? I mean, this was... If it would have been like 7 gateway adept, I think this would have been a straight-up win. But he's got a third Nexus on the back of this. This is really bad for Zerg. Yep. I love the fact that herO decided to go for this build and this map as well. Just because it's so much smaller. Okay, that's a little bit overly ambitious. It does mean that those adepts, they did show up sooner than you normally would, right, on a larger map. Despite the fact that... I mean, the Twilight Council was like a 3-second delay, I guess. But anyways. Despite the fact that he showed up not at like the absolute perfect time, he still managed to deal a lot of damage. Alright. Match point for herO. I think it's going to take probably a few months for Zerg players to remember how to open up with all of the variety in the Protoss early game. So the thing is, right, with the Glaive Adepts, with the Twilight Council openers, with the Dark Templar follow-ups, with the Robo facility starts, with the Prism drops, all of those builds, like with the 5 gateway start, right, the one where you don't even go for any sort of tech structure, all of those openers, they require a different approach. So the problem that Zerg players run into, there's not like a one-size-fits-all sort of start, you know? Like, you gotta time your Roach Warren and your Spore Crawlers and stuff, depending on what the Protoss player has shown you. Now, obviously, you can go for Pneumatized Carapace. You can go for the Overlord Speed upgrade, which is 100 minerals and 100 gas. And then, sure, you can scout out everything that the Protoss player is going for. But with, like, a very sharply timed attack from Protoss, those 200 resources that you spend on that Overlord Speed upgrade, and usually you still lose the Overlord with it as well, yeah, you may just accidentally find yourself with too little money to actually defend against what you just scouted. So it's a very delicate dance, and Zerg will have to be very crisp with their scouting, but also just with the information that they're gathering, right? So little bits here and there. For example, we see herO running Zerglings around. So say, for example, right, he sees at the front that there's very little going on, or he suspects it's a Stargate. He will have like a Zergling patrolling back and forth in the most likely locations where those units can pass by. So you should be able to see it as it moves out of the main base. There's little things you can do to make that scouting info a little bit easier. But I do think it's gonna take a couple of months before the Zerg players will be able to dial in every single one of those Protoss openers once again. Maybe I'm mistaken. But personally, at least, maybe I'm just getting old, but I seem to have completely forgotten how to play against a lot of these openers. In like 2 weeks from now, Zerg players are begging that they can once again go up against a good old double Stargate follow-up. Please give me some Void Rays. I think Void Ray openers actually are also still very viable too. Just a bit more expensive. 50 minerals, and not the end of the world. Obviously, they also take 6 seconds longer to produce. Which, again, especially with Chrono Boost, not the end of the world. Especially below the pro level, which shouldn't really matter all too much. Anyhow, there's the Stargate once again. I mentioned Phoenixes. We used to see Adept openers into Phoenixes, into double Stargate Phoenix back in the day. I think double Stargate Phoenix openers are awesome. Big fan of them. But they're also pretty tricky to play, and Phoenixes have a tendency to fall off as the game progresses. Judging by the rally point over here, I think this is once again going to be a Void Ray start. But obviously the Void Ray can serve a couple of different functions, right? So first off, you can leverage it into, well, mass Stargate play. Secondly, you can go for a really quick third base. But lastly, you can deny any sort of scouting from the Zerg. So, say for example, herO wants to go for like a Twilight Council follow-up. Yeah, as long as there's a Void Ray out, you can kill all of the Overlords that might want to come in, and Zerg is essentially going to be in the dark as soon as this Void is out. Alright. Curious to see what herO decides to go for here. I do hope that Stargate openers will still be like... will still have like a place in the meta, right? So like the goal is not to, you know, force Stargate openers out of the game entirely. That would be kind of lame. But I would like to see like the occasional double Stargate start, right? Rather than like every single game, the double Stargate start. That would be a bit boring. Or that would be. That was a bit boring. Anyways. We've got ourselves that good old Oracle now as a follow-up. Curious to see what we see after this. So there's the third Nexus. Are we going to go double Oracle? Okay, it is going to be double Stargate. All right. One thing I have run into in my own games, and once again, you got to take this with a grain of salt. Personally, I was already struggling very hard in the late game against Protoss. So, ooh, we're Phoenixes. Hell yeah, let's go. I could not win in the previous patch a game against Skytools in the late game for the life of me. I have lost literally 1,000+ games to Protoss over the last couple of years. I probably... Okay, let me put it like this. I think I probably win like 10% of the late game Protoss versus Zergs. Main reason I win is because I catch the entire Protoss like army off guard. There's a lot of Protoss players that are playing in Grandmaster League right now that, yeah, are... literally like 2 digits APM, and you know, they're not very fast. They're just sitting there turtling up on mass Skytools, and then they finally move out at like the 20-minute mark. In the past, what I have found is that I could win against those players by going for a lot of Queen Marches. Now, Queen Marches at this point are much worse, and I have still played against a bunch of Protoss players that just kind of like sit there and just kind of sit there. And they kind of just sit there, and then eventually they move out with a maxed out Skytools force. Now, since a Queen push is not as viable anymore as it used to be, I mean, maybe a Nydus build can be found somewhere. I have found that some Protoss players out there are doing the exact opposite of what this patch was intended for. They are playing like the absolute most passive style ever right now, where they just sit there, playing even more slowly than they used to back in the day, just because they're trying to wait until they're maxed out. So... the patch could accidentally backfire is what I'm getting at. I love this, by the way, from Mr. herO. Couple of Adepts combined right there with one Oracle. So, a couple of patches ago, we haven't really seen use of it very much, but a couple of patches ago, the Oracle Revelation ability was changed. It now lasts half as long as it used to, but it also costs half as much energy. Meaning that revealing those creep tumors over there is awesome. Assuming you don't fly the Oracles, though, over a bunch of Queens like that. Alright, Phoenixes. Completely hidden up to this point. Rogue has no idea that Phoenixes are in this game. He's gonna see them for the very first time right now. Phoenix is surprisingly tanky. Alright, we're just gonna lift up all the things. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. That was so bad. What was that, bro? You just flew in there and had absolutely no plan? Alright. So Phoenixes actually have quite a lot of health. Additional spores are coming up right now. Alright, now this is what you want to do with Phoenixes. Yeah. Well, still not that good. Oh my god. Ugh. Ugh. That was quite sloppy, to be honest, Mr. herO. Maybe this is the first time he's trying out Mass Phoenix against Zerg again in quite some time, but that wasn't it, dude. I think we lost like, how many Phoenixes? 3 Phoenixes. He was like, surprise! I'm doing nothing with these. 10 Corruptors as a follow-up, so Rogue decided to go for the Spire. Alright. Probably was expecting a couple more Void Rays. I guess Spire openers make a lot of sense right now, too. Because Hydras kind of suck, right? So you can go for Mutalisks if it's not a Stargate opener. Or you can go for Corruptors if it is a Stargate opener. Or you can go for Mutas if it is a Stargate opener if your name is... who was that? Dark, right? Dark has been going for a lot of Muta play. Which was kind of funny, seeing the Mutas combined with the other units. Anyways, so we go from a Stargate into another Stargate, into a Robo Bay with double Robo Facility. And it seems like this is a transition right now towards Archon Immortal with probably either Disruptors or Colossi support, which I like. So the transition here after the early game is a ground-based army. The problem with Phoenixes is that if they're not controlled well, you can actually... Oh, you can run into an issue. So Corruptors right now are apparently chasing the Phoenixes, and there's 8 Mutas coming up as well. I think these are like, well, 10 Mutas? If they get spotted, this is going to be really good for the Protoss player. I think these are like sacrificial Mutalisks, where you're like, haha! Well, he sees the research right now as well in that Spire. Wouldn't be surprised if he's just gonna like send one big group of Mutas into the mineral lines just to try and deal as much damage as possible, although he's still adding on more. Has Rogue been talking with Dark? Disruptors do nothing. Zealots do nothing against this entire Zerg army. I mean, there are some... No, there's like 1 ground unit and a bunch of queens. There's 12 queens. Zerg is actually going for like a full-on Zerg air army. Oh my god, look at this! Rogue building a Spinecrawler forest in the natural while making a ton of Mutas. At this point, I don't think herO knows that there's even Mutalisks out. He's still making Disruptors, and Disruptors are like the last unit you want. Okay, at this point, I think you've gotten a glimpse of them, rather. I think you need to go home, herO. I mean, this is for all intents and purposes now a 3-base all-in right here from Protoss, so... Oh, Corruptors. Okay, the Archons actually are like the most vulnerable part of this army right now. Really nicely done here by Rogue, picking up those heavy hitters first. Queens obviously have a ton of transfusion energy, but at this point there's no anti-air available. The Phoenixes have been cleaned up, the Archons have been cleaned up, the Prism is gone. Queens have 1,000,001 transfuses for those spines in the natural. Rogue going for once more a different opener than what we've seen in a very long time. And even though... I mean, he's cleaning up the army here of the Protoss player. I still don't know if this was actually super effective. 25 drones have gone down. 2 hatcheries are picked off as well. Right side of the map in the meantime, we do have a 4th Nexus. There's no way that that one is going to finish. I mean, it shouldn't anyways. We still have 24 Mutas though. That is a lot. Blink here, not made until a little while later. I love this. Target firing down the Cybernetics core. The reason for the Cybernetics core target, okay, is that you need a Cyber core to make Stalkers. Mutas, okay, magic boxing on top of as many of those Archons as possible. Archons deal splash damage, so Rogue has to be very careful. Yo, what do you think of the new patch so far? Let me know down below in the comment section. This is so much better, right? For a little while at least, the matchup is going to be the Wild West, where the standard will not be decided until a while from now. But, seems like there's a lot of viable starts. There will probably be a build that will pop up as like the best opener to go for, but... Alright, so Rogue has been rebuilding his worker count. He still has those spines, obviously, but Queen's actually caught very far away from the... Oh my god, the blink behind! Queen's caught way behind those Spore Crawler wall, or Spine Crawler walls, rather. So this is actually dealing a lot of damage. Is there enough, though, for the Zerg player to clean all of this up? That Archon is having an absolute field day right there on those Mutas, okay? Eventually, it does go down. Stalkers right now are falling as well. GG is cold. herO doesn't have enough. Berlingrad. Final map in this best of 5 series. I've always been a fan of the way that Rogue plays this game. Rogue always strikes me as a guy who doesn't really watch anyone else play. He just kind of does his own thing. I remember way back in the day, and I'm talking like probably 2012, 2013 or so. So it's been quite some time. But Zerg players found out for a little while there in the meta that if you have enough Mutalisks and enough Spine Crawlers at home, you can basically win against everything. Because it turns out if you have enough Spine Crawlers, you can kill any Protoss ground army. Because it takes them forever to go through anything. Right? So you don't really have the option to, yeah, just run by the Spine Crawlers as a Protoss player. You kind of just have to, you know, kill all of them first. Zerg players would usually play like literally up to like 80 Mutalisks with like 40 drones on the back of it and then like as many spines as they could possibly afford. And then they would counterattack every single time. So obviously in StarCraft 2, you win if you kill all of your opponent's structures. And it turns out while Protoss is very busy, you know, going through your Spinecrawler forest, your Mutas are very good at picking off all of the structures very quickly. So I wonder if that was what herO was ultimately gonna face off against in that previous game, where Rogue would literally max out on Mutalisks. Because against like 80 Mutalisks, there's not really that much that Protoss can reasonably make to counter it. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can make an army that counters it. It's just that they can't really like catch it, right? So you'd need to have a lot of Phoenixes, I suppose. I think that may actually have been... Now I'm thinking about it, why did that style go away? I think it was primarily when Blizzard introduced the Anion Pulse Crystals upgrade. That style really fell out of favor. So that's the Phoenix ranged upgrade that allows them to chase down Muta clumps a little bit easier. But basically at some point Zerg players found out, you know what? I'm never actually gonna fight your army. I'm just gonna like make spine crawlers and a bunch of Mutas and just counterattack as soon as you, try to fight me. I'm not actually gonna fight your main army at all. You can make whatever you like, I don't care. Anyhow. That would be kind of fun to see every once in a while. Alright. Twilight Council opener. You guys can't see, but I'm sitting here with a big smile, okay? Casting StarCraft 2 games isn't just what I do for a living, it's what I actually really enjoy doing. I hope that StarCraft is going to be around for a long time. And that we can enjoy a lot more of these games, but I mean, you can only cast so many double Stargate openers, especially when you're solo casting, until you just get sick and tired of it, right? I don't mean it in a bad way, it's just gotten a little bit boring after a while. Okay, so this time around, we once again have a variety on the same theme. So herO in the previous, that was the previous game, decided to go, alright, Dark Shrine this time around, for a really quick third Nexus. But he skipped the robotics facility while going 4 gateways, right? So he decided to go... it was on Curious Minds. Yeah, on Curious Minds. He decided to go for like a 4 gateway opener and then a quick third Nexus while skipping the robotics facility. That's not really an option on this map because the map's... Well, third base to third base distance is just too long to send those adepts all the way across. Anyways, it's going to be a Dark Shrine start right here from herO. In the meantime, though, Rogue is mixing it up as well. Oh my god, this is really bad for Rogue. Rogue got a build order win in game number 1. Game number 2, he's going for a Roach all-in against someone who's opening up Dark Templar. This would be pretty good against someone opening up with, like, Void Rays even. I mean, not ideal, but at least the Void Ray would take forever killing all of these things. You can literally have a Dark Templar on hold position right there to prevent most of the Zerg army from coming through. Love the fact that there's a shield battery produced over there too. There's already a force field available as well. herO at this point is buying time. All he needs is a couple Dark Templar to shut this down. Oh my god, that one adept, dude. You shall... Freaking Gandalf over here. He shall not pass. There's the DT at this point. Rogue sees it. Oh, I love it. The Dark Templar at the choke point. Yeah. Alright, Gandalf has been upgraded, bro. This is Gandalf, the Cyan, or whatever color. Gandalf the Cloaked. Whatever color the... Alright, well, Zerglings did manage to get into the base. herO should really evacuate on over towards the low ground. Maybe warp in another, a couple Dark Templar. That wouldn't hurt, Mr. herO. You've got money in the bank. Why are we warping in Zealots? Am I crazy? Why are we warping in Zealots? We have gas. Maybe he just barely didn't have enough gas. You should really... Yeah, he's going for it right now. Okay. Oh my god, is this actually working out? No, wait, this wasn't supposed to work out for Rogue at all. Rogue is actually an accidental magician, okay? He's like, Gandalf, no problem. I'll just pull a rabbit out of my hat. See if Gandalf can do that. Oh my god, I can't believe this worked out so well. After... So wait, 39 Zerglings, only 10 probes though. You know what? 10 probes is actually not enough. That seemed really bad right there for Protoss for a second. I mean, he did invest into like the freaking, I don't know, a wall. But I don't think this wall is making the Zerg player pay for it. You know what I mean? Like this is 3 shield batteries more than he actually needed. Maybe 2 more than he actually needed. Alright, we're gonna go back into the main base, retaking the main. Normally, you follow up a Dark Templar opener with Archon drops. This time around, it is Immortal drops. I actually like Immortal drops here a lot because normally this base would be taken by now, and then you can kill it, right? Because Zerg doesn't have any creep in that area. Okay, good targeting right there on those roaches. Immortal drops. Yeah. When's the last time you've seen Immortal drops? Genuinely. Protoss long distance mining his own main base. Robo Bay is coming up as well. This is about to become a really awkward game. Like, even more awkward. So the problem here at this point, right, is that Zerg is playing with very limited amounts of information. Sure, he knows he's done damage to the other side of the map. He knows that he's, well, hurt the Protoss player. But what kind of army does the Protoss follow it up with at this point? What do you do here as Protoss? So he apparently has decided to go for the Robo Bay. So he's got the option to go into like Colossi, Disruptors, the whole shebang. Rogue has now decided to go for a Spire of his own once again because it worked out in the previous games. He's like, okay. This time around though, he's doing a Spire off of just 4 gas geysers. So he's got 4 gas. Obviously he's got other things to spend that gas on as well. Now finally the 3rd base is coming up. But that is very late. There's a Disruptor coming up for the Protoss player. I think there was a scout right over there. Did Zerg see it? No. Yeah, Zerg actually did get a glimpse right there of the Robo Bay. So he did see what happened. Okay, so there's Mutas. So another 5 Mutas are coming up. The one herO, Dark Templar. Wait, no, that's not him. Oh, I guess one of them has become the Archon. Yeah, this Archon has like 19 kills. It's probably one of the herO, Dark Templar right over there. Alright. herO going for a very strange push. A 2-base... Where's the Disruptor? There should be a Disruptor somewhere. Hello? Did we not finish the Disruptor? No. Oh, but it's stuck! Just, a little unfortunate here. That could actually backfire. Having a Disruptor here in the mix would really be nice. He could recall it to the natural, but... Step Disruptor is... No, Loko. Okay, so he just used recall in his main army. Disruptor can obviously be picked up as well, yeah. herO probably using the O army hotkey there, and then when he got to the other side of the map, he realized that the Disruptor wasn't there. That is unfortunate. I actually think that that push had winning potential. I think that was a push that he could actually win with. Now the units over here are stuck as well. Feels weird, right? Not playing Stargate units, Mr. herO. Yeah, Fort Rays usually just fly over everything. Maybe herO needs to install some, I don't know, some SimCity. Some SimCity, rather. Some city skylines. Okay. Zerg has had the heads up that this push is coming for quite some time, but then the push went home again, so he was probably a little confused as well. He's sitting at 52 workers though, which I do think is the right amount. Disruptor over here gets killed before the Purification Nova can commit. That being said, yeah, Stalkers once again more blinking right on top of that Zerg army. Is there enough? I think he's just winning. Is he? I mean, the drones were pulled away as well. I mean, I see the 2 Immortals there in the back. 22 kills, 23 and 12. Whenever you see the Immortals go into town like that, they usually are... It usually means Protoss is winning the game, and there it is. herO obtains the victory over Rogue 3-2. Hey, if you made it all the way until the end of this video, please hit that like button down below. It really does help the channel out. Thank you very much.